Hello everybody, welcome to DAC Band Productions and welcome to Conrail. And in this video, I've been getting a lot of viewer requests. Don't think I'm ignoring you. I have been writing down your requests on a list. I've just been really busy, and I don't mean to, not respond to people's emails or text messages or Facebook messages fast enough. I'm not ignoring you. I'm overwhelmed right now with things going on around the house and home and work. Matter of fact, work's between work and home, I don't know if I'm coming or going. So thankfully, there hasn't been a lot of train shows between August and September. Just to Edison, and there's no train shows in for September, other than there is Nick from Nick's Crossing about a month ago had invited me out there to hang out with them at the B&O Railroad Museum for Diesel Days. So if that's something that interests you, going to a museum and checking out old railroad equipment, then by all means, the B&O Railroad Museum is a great museum. It's in Baltimore, Maryland. So if you're in that area, check it out. So I'm definitely going to check out Diesel Days, being as how it's diesel, that's plus number 1. And then there's actually a restored Conrail SW7 switcher out there, number 8905. The B&O Railroad Museum had restored this locomotive. Would love to see that thing running. And when I checked out the schedule, it is on the schedule to make some runs. So I would love to see that in action. Speaking of Conrail, you'll see that I have a new shirt. I love it, love it, love it. And I would like to thank Mr. Pictavid, Andrew, over there at Mr. Pictavid YouTube channel. Check him out. If you like G-scale trains, garden trains, Gauge 1 trains, large scale trains, check out the Mr. Pictavid channel. I was in a G-scale myself from 2000 to 2015. Sort of worked with him a couple years, helping his channel out some, and then we got together, and during the shutdown, the show shutdown time period, we're not allowed to say the C word. YouTube gets upset. But anyway, so we decided to, put on a show together. We did that for a couple years, and then I just got so tied up with doing train shows and clubs and stuff like that. I gave up my spot for Nico, and Nico is doing a great job. And glad to see the channel is very successful, and they got sponsors now, so I'm glad to see that their channel's grown, just to, keep that G-scale community alive. And the reason why I loved, I've actually seen somebody wearing it, or he showed a picture of it on a, when he was at a show. I forget how I saw this shirt, but when I seen it, I fell in love with it. I said, can you pick me up that shirt, please, and I'll pay you for it and shipping and all that. He said, fine, yeah, I can do that for you. And he had, he either had his friend or he picked it up. I forget which one it was. And so he said, yeah, I'm ready to ship this shirt to you. I said, well, how much do I owe you? And he said, it's a gift. It blew me away, and thank you. So why do I love this shirt so much? It bothers me to death when I see people creating Conrail shirts or plaques or whatever that's going to have a picture of a locomotive on it. They always seem to use Conrail 8098. And for those of you who don't know, Conrail 8098 is not a real Conrail locomotive. It's actually a Norfolk Southern Conrail Heritage locomotive. So no, it is not even a real Conrail locomotive, and it sort of like irritates me a little bit. It's like, guys, if you're making signs and you're making shirts and plaques, whatever, dedicated to Conrail, please quit using that locomotive for the image of Conrail, because it doesn't even belong to Conrail. It never has. Yeah, it's a cool locomotive as a heritage unit, but I just don't think it's the proper locomotive to represent the Conrail time period. So on the front of this shirt, we have two, I'm trying to show you here, here we go. So you have two SD-80 Mac locomotives. You have number 4104 and 4100. The SD-80 Mac were AC radial locomotives, and Conrail was the only one to have bought them brand new. Believe there was a second company that was going to buy some, and then they backed out on it, and Conrail just took the rest of the order. But these were basically Conrail bought them to do the coal drags with, which they were perfect for. And I bet you some of you don't even know what radial AC even is. A lot of people think it has to do with the current of the AC. Yeah, it's radial. No, not at all. That's not what it means. So when you see the word radial, it also has nothing to do with airplanes, because I know in the airplane world there was radial engines, which they were cool too. But radial had to do with the design of the trucks. So the leading axle on each truck was actually floating. It wasn't fixed. It was radial. So the reason why they left that front axle floating a little bit is so the SD-80 Mac would negotiate the switches better and there would be less derailment. So that was the design, and I believe the SD-70 Mac also had the same type of radial trucks. So those trucks had a model designation of HTCR, R meaning radial, for a self-steering or floating axle they called it. But at any rate, let me show you what I mean by signs and plaques being made with 8098. Oh, I gotta show you this. So here's one sign that's Conrail based. It has all the names on it that were taken over by Conrail, but ironically, they use a Norfolk Southern Heritage unit as the picture for all this. Should have been an SD-80 Mac or SD-70 Mac. An SD-40-2 would have been cool. Anything but this locomotive. And yet another sign showing all the railroads that Conrail took over. And again, we're using 8098, a Norfolk Southern Heritage unit. Somebody makes a correct sign, a more correct sign, I would also swap this one out. So a viewer had saw my, well, I actually made two different videos on my Jersey Central Camelback number 774. And the main reason why I bought that locomotive, because I found out that I actually did an excursion train ride through my town. So it came from North Jersey and came down to my town in South Jersey before heading out to Jim Thorpe. And so I made two different videos about just the locomotive itself because I thought it was a very important historical thing. And the viewer liked it. And that run was made on April 2nd, 1955. And it was the last run that the Central Jersey number 774 Camelback ever made. They actually brought it back and washed it, thinking, look, the engineers thought they were going to run it again, so they actually washed the train. And then Jersey Central decided, okay, we're going to scrap it. The B&R Railroad Museum did try to save it, but the Jersey Central wanted so much money for it, and the museum couldn't afford it, and so it got scrapped. The viewer had asked about the passenger cars that I used in those two videos, and he wanted to look at them and have me discuss them. And so yeah, we can do that today. So as we last left off, the last excursion that Jersey Central number 774 was sponsored by the Electric Railroaders Association. And the excursion was called Wharton and Northern High Line. And again, the information on this, as I mentioned in the last video, is very, very little. It's not as much as... Don't get this confused with the 1954 excursion, which was well documented. This is not the same excursion, so the 54 excursion is different than this one that I'm talking about. The 1954 excursion was actually Farewell to Steam, and was a highly well documented event that Central Jersey put on that also featured number 774. However, there was one more event after that that is not as well documented. The last run that it actually took, which started in Jersey City and then ended up stopping at Winslow Junction, which is not far from me, about a 20-minute ride. From my understanding, well, Winslow Junction has been abandoned for quite some time, but my understanding is there's a railroad that's trying to bring it back and put in new tracks and stuff. Not sure if that'll go through. After Winslow Junction, it stopped in my town. Half, if not 60% of the Jersey Central tracks, if not more than that, are all gone. They have all been torn up. So, and the it's just a shame that, you know, the city didn't save any of the Jersey Central track, or not much of it still exists here. So let's take a look at the coaches that were featured in the video. The viewer would really like me to go through them, show them to you. Sure, why not? We'll bring the train around and we'll take a look at my Jersey Central excursion. So let's go.
Going to be running on long if we don't move on soon. Call in the flag man, let's get going. Going to be running on long if we don't move on soon. Make a note for the house. The right injector needs some attention.
So here's my Central Jersey passenger train, for those who may have forgotten about it, because I haven't showcased it in a while until a viewer had asked about the passenger cars, which we'll get into here in a minute. From what I could tell in the pictures of the actual excursion train that went in my town in 1955, it didn't have a fast freight merchandise car. And these fast freight merchandising cars actually had passenger trucks on them. Because you got to remember, back then, you know, freight cars had friction-bearing trucks, and they would not be able to keep up with passenger speed, so they would swap out the freight trucks and put passenger car trucks on them. So here we have the baggage car, which was in the excursion. The combine was not. And I'm not sure about the observation in the back, because the picture does not, no pictures show that in there, so I can't tell you if it was or wasn't. But I do know the passenger cars were in there. Now I decided to use MTH Premier passenger cars for my train. There's a couple reasons for that. Number one, they were a lot more reasonable than the Atlas versions, and the Atlas ones are hard to find. MTH actually made two different versions of the Jersey Central in this green color. The ones you see in front of you that actually say Jersey Central lines, and the other set was stenciled for CRR, Central Railroad of New Jersey, which I didn't get that set. And again, the reason being, I picked the the ones that say Jersey Central lines over the ones that say CRR on them is because the ones that say Jersey Central lines are the passenger cars that actually ran through my town on that last day or on that last excursion. Now, I will point out, which many people already have in the last 2 videos, but to the viewer who may not know, these MTH cars are 6-wheel trucks, which is actually incorrect for the Jersey Central lines. They did not have 6-wheel trucks on them. They actually had 4-wheel trucks on them. People have mentioned, yeah, you convert it and blah, 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 and this and that. And, you know, at this point in time, I'd rather not. I'm pretty happy having 6-wheel trucks on them. I actually like the 6-wheel trucks. I think it's cool looking. I like the 6-wheel over the 4-wheel better. But, yeah, it would, you know, you could swap them out, but I'm not going to. Yeah, it's not prototypical, but for this instance, I don't care. They're staying on there. So I just wanted to make sure I mention that because I know other people will in the comments. So this is an MTH 5-car, 70-foot Madison passenger set. If you're interested in going out and finding one, it is stock number 20-4097. And you'll notice it's a very low number, so this is quite an older run. So this particular set has interior lighting, die-cast wheels and trucks, operating die-cast metal couplers, end-of-car diaphragms, separate metal handrails, detailed interiors. These are true 1/48 scale dimensions. It has a detailed undercarriage and hand-painted interior figures. And these will operate on 042, believe it or not. Okay, so let's take a look at the interior. And I'll try to keep the glare out as best as I can. And there you go. And you'll notice standing figures in here. And there's another one there. So there's your hand-painted figures. I'm not sure if the 60-foot Madison car was one of the passenger cars that got sold to Lionel. But I do know people complaining that they didn't put standing figures in them like what MTH did. But overall, it's pretty well detailed. And then we'll take a look underneath. There's your 6-wheel trucks. There's your undercarriage. A very, very nice car. I like these a lot. I would rather have this, even if Lionel made this in a 21-inch passenger car, I probably wouldn't buy it. I'd probably just keep the set that I have. If you're looking for a museum that does have Central Jersey coaches, then you might want to visit Steamtown. They have a couple of them over there. I actually got to ride in one back in 2012. I think I visited that place last. I haven't been back there since. I probably need to take some time to go back out there. Here is a photo of Jersey Central number 1064 passenger car. As you can see in the photo, it does not have the stenciling at the top. It just has the Lady Liberty on it. So I wish I could have found more photos. Photos are kind of scarce on the Jersey Central without a lot of in-depth digging. I got a lot of things going on, so I really don't have the time to do that in-depth research. I'm sorry. But I hope what I have provided informational-wise has helped a little bit. And as far as the model itself versus the real thing, you know, the 6 truck versus 4 truck and who made it, the model number. It's a real cool set. I'm still looking for the 2-car add-on set for this. I still haven't found it. The two-car add-on set, which actually has the same script on top of it, Jersey Central Lines, not CRR. So hopefully I'll find that two-car set one day, the MTH Premier set. We'll see. But in the meantime, I'm happy with what I have built at this point in time. So we stop off at Strasbourg Station, or Strasbourg Tower. There you go. That's an MTH piece for those who are Strasbourg fans. MTH made that a few years ago.
Call in the flagman and let's get going.
Dispatcher, air is made. Brake test complete. Are we clear to pull? Over.
Hold your position. Out.
Better tend to that fire while we're waiting. Gonna be a hard pull ahead.
Dispatcher, we're ready. Is it okay to pull? Over.
Take the green. Out.
Now, the crew talk is obviously for a modern day excursion, which I'm okay with, and basically they wouldn't be using a camelback for a modern day excursion because of safety, but that's alright. We can pretend. So my locomotive came to a screeching halt and wouldn't move anymore. So if you look in here, I think I got it right. Yep, it ate both traction tires and jammed up into the wheels. Hopefully it didn't cause any damage. I wouldn't be happy. Well, I blamed the wrong locomotive for the traction tire. The traction tires are fine. That tire is way too small to be on there. That's actually from one of my diesels that I just ran, and it spit out a tire. So that tire is either from the GP35 or 30, and it got jammed up in here. Hopefully this thing is okay. And I don't know. I would be highly upset if it wasn't, but we're going to go ahead and test it nervously and hope it's okay. Oh yeah, I'm so happy. All right. I gotta tell you, that's Lionel tough for you right there. I was nervous, and that tire being jammed up in there like that wouldn't have been Lionel's fault. That would have been mine. One of my diesels ejected a tire, and I didn't know it. But at any rate, so we're gonna watch the train comes through Winslow Junction, and then we'll move on to the Steamtown video.
Dispatcher, going to the register room to sign out. Out.
And I hope you enjoyed your ride on the Conrail Jersey Central excursion number 774. Come back again and visit us. On another note, as I've already mentioned, I really have ridden the Jersey Central passenger car in Steamtown back in 2012, 2011, sometime back there. I don't know. I don't remember. It was quite some time ago. It was in that timeline. And, well, it actually had to be that timeline because I was just getting interested in doing videos. So that would be about the right timeline. I bought a used camcorder off of eBay because I didn't know if I was going to like doing what I was doing today. You know, shooting videos. So I bought a cheapy used, and so the film quality wasn't that good, but I'll go ahead and play the video footage, and it's better than nothing. I guess I can put it that way, because it's not very good. I'm going to warn you now. The video footage is pretty terrible. It had no stabilization in it. It had this resolution, everything's, it's not, that whole entire video I'm just going to splice it up, but it's currently not. It's one of the videos I took off of YouTube because it was so terrible. So I'll splice it up and let you guys watch snippets of it. No way. Wow. Nice. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you at the next train show, club meet, event. We'll see. We'll see you guys around. Goodbye.